Is New Japan World worth your money? You're about to find out. What's up, folks? This is Fred Richani of TSC, your home for pro wrestling news updates, interviews, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. New Japan Pro Wrestling's NJPW World.com. It is the premier streaming service in Japan, and arguably the second biggest one amongst wrestling fans. Of course, there's WWE Network, and then the answer to that is New Japan World, which features pretty much every major New Japan Pro Wrestling match going back to its inception in 1972. If you're not familiar with New Japan, it's the top promotion in Japan. Some would argue it's the best wrestling promotion bell to bell in the entire world. It boasts a number of superstars including Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Will Ospreay, and WWE legend Chris Jericho. It also has matches dating back to 1972 with the likes of founder Antonio Inoki, Hulk Hogan, Stan Hansen, Vader, Sting. The list goes on and on and on. Nature Boy Ric Flair. If you're a huge New Japan fan already, somebody that maybe watches their show on Access TV or checks out all of their content online on YouTube that they post for free, you might want to dive in, right? Well, here's how to sign up. You go to NJPWWorld.com. You'll get this splash screen right here. Click the sign up button. You put in your email address again, your password, confirm the password, enter your nickname. Maybe you want to be RK Bro or Fred's Biggest Fan 5. Just giving you guys suggestions. Your date of birth, your gender, accept the terms of use, read the privacy policy, and bam, you confirm. From there, you would enter your payment information and get confirmation that you registered. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking if you've never signed up for the service or any kind of service from Japan. Well, how the hell do I read this, Fred? Well, it's simple. At first, you may log in and end up seeing Japanese on the site because it is a Japanese promotion. What you can do is click on the little tab right here, the little button that says English, and boom, it translates to English. Now, should there be a true American site, English site for New Japan World? Probably, but that's what we got right now. You could also use Chrome to translate as well. Once you're done signing up, you might be wondering, how the heck do I access my content? Well, simple. You go to NJPWWorld.com, and then you go to log in. You can click home if you're already logged in, and you'll see here they have a splash screen, a carousel of all their recent events, upcoming events, as well as an event schedule. You'll notice that if you're somebody who speaks English, this is good for you. They have English commentary on the majority of their events and have for the past few years. That wasn't always the case. Of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling is primarily a Japanese company, a Japanese product. But in recent years, since they've been airing on the stateside Access TV and been touring more across North America, they have increased and ramped up their English commentary, which is pretty freaking awesome. They're broken down into categories here in terms of all their content. They have new content right here. They have various series, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Festival, Road to the Tokyo Dome, the World Tag League, which determined who would get a crack at the Tag Team Champions, Lions Break Project 1, Global Wars. You'll see here there's even some ROH content because they have a relationship with Ring of Honor. So if you have a chance to watch some Ring of Honor, you could do it so on New Japan World. We have English content right here. And then we have various content broken down into decades. The 70s, New Japan dates back all the way to 1972, the 1980s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the current decade of the 2010s. You also have the most searched tags right here, featuring stars like Kenny Omega. So if you want a Kenny Omega match, click on the Kenny Omega tag, and it'll give you all the Kenny Omega videos. Hiroshi Tanahashi, same thing. Chris Jericho, Tetsuya Naito, Kazuchika Okada, Jay White, Kota Ibushi. English content, you name it, they got it. They have backstage comment here, which refers to their backstage press conferences that are very sportsmanlike. And then they have their NJPW documentaries, which a majority of them are free and pretty freaking awesome and give you a nice personality profile of these stars. Now, I'm assuming if you're checking out NJPWWorld.com, you at the very least have an interest in Japanese pro wrestling. And you maybe want to learn more about it. Maybe you're somebody like me that has enjoyed the recent New Japan content over the last few years and want to learn more and watch more because, man, this stuff is pretty awesome. I mean, you get some of the best wrestling in the world, some of the biggest stars in the world, and you get to watch videos of a lot of guys who have cut their teeth in New Japan prior to going on to even bigger things, such as Finn Balor and AJ Styles. You could also go right here to the schedule, see what they have going on here. We see Wrestle Kingdom, New Year Dash, CMLL Fantastica Mania. The good thing about New Japan is they have relationships with various promotions in the UK and Australia, and with CMLL, which is one of the biggest companies in all of Mexico and a staple of Lucha Libre. We have all videos listed right here. If you wanted to search anything, let's just say I wanted to search AJ Styles, I could type that, and it'll come up right here with all AJ Styles content. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This isn't the most user-friendly interface, and it kind of isn't, to be honest. If you're a hardcore fan, if you're somebody that really wants to watch New Japan, and you're used to using these types of streaming services, yeah, you can use it. You can probably navigate your way around it, but at first it can be confusing for anybody, because you may have a case where you go onto the site, and bam, it's in Japanese. Maybe you're using Google Chrome and you could translate, but the easiest way to get New Japan World in English is to click the English button right above here, and bam, it'll all be translated, but they don't have a true English site yet. I guess this is the closest thing to it. Most of the stuff is translated, but it could be better. There are plenty of fan sites that you could go to that have a list of the best New Japan World matches. They'll link them for you. But if you're just trying to explore on your own, it might be a bit of a pain in the neck, a pain in the butt, not going to lie. Now, as far as the content goes, if you're somebody that likes hard-hitting wrestling, high-flying wrestling, some of the best wrestling in the world, you got it right here with New Japan World. You really do. This has a gigantic roster of talent, past and present, from top to bottom. If you're wondering how the stream quality is, more often than not, it's pretty high quality, very little lag time. I've rarely had any issues where I've had New Japan World freeze up on me. Now, the next question you might have is, well, how the heck do I watch this stuff? Well, you could do so on your desktop at NJPWWorld.com, or you can use the app, which is available on Google Play or iPhone, and it links you directly to the New Japan World site. But the problem is, it's a little bit harder to get it on your TV with an app. Now, there is a way to watch it on Amazon Fire TV, but if you don't have Fire TV, it might be a bit of a pain. Now, when I say pain, I mean you may have to take an HDMI cable like I do and plug it in directly to your TV and just log on to New Japan World there and watch the matches. You could also log on to the internet browser on your Xbox One and watch it if you want to watch it on your console. But make no mistake about it, it's not as convenient as it should be after all these years of existence. There's not a Roku app at the moment. There isn't a PlayStation or Xbox One app, or it's definitely not a Switch app at the moment as well. So if you want to watch on your TV, if you're somebody that doesn't want to watch on your computer screen, you want a bigger screen experience, you're going to have to bust out the HDMI cable, and depending on what Mac you have, perhaps some type of adapter as well. But let me tell you, the content itself is worth it. New Japan puts out a number of events per month, 2 to 4, always adding classic matches. They have some real in-depth documentaries, and I feel like the total package overall is worth it if you are a wrestling fan. So what's the verdict? Content. I give NJPWWorld.com a 10. Wrestling, like art, is subjective, but I firmly believe New Japan consistently has some of the best wrestling in the world. Now, if you go back in the archives during some of the dark periods of New Japan, you might say, not really. But present day, and in recent years, I'd even go as far as saying from 2011, 2012 to now, definitely some of the best wrestling you can get. Interface. I give it a 6. I'm not saying New Japan World is impossible to navigate, but in comparison to WWE Network, which breaks everything down by year, by specific pay-per-view, they have collections for each wrestler, it's a lot easier to browse around, especially if you're somebody that's kind of a casual fan, not used to using apps like this one right here, and somebody that, quite frankly, doesn't want a bit of the headache, even if you're going to watch great wrestling. So I would like to see them mimic WWE Network's approach, not just with the marketing with $9.99, 990 yen, but in categorizing their content as well, because there's a lot of gold here, there's a lot of diamonds in the rough, but at the end of the day, if you can't discover it, what's the point? Access. I also give New Japan World a 6. On the computer, on Amazon Fire TV, on your phone, you can watch it. That's cool. But I still think at this juncture, in this day and age, they should create some type of app for TV and for the PlayStation 4. If New Japan can pull enough strings to get its talent in video games such as Tekken and Yakuza, which are pretty mainstream, then they can take the time to create an app for this Sony PlayStation and for Roku. Just my humble opinion. I'm not complaining too much for my personal experience because I'm fine with plugging in the laptop to the TV. But if you want to cast a wider net, if you want more people to sign up, more people to watch, more people to support NJPW, I feel like you got to make it as easy as humanly possible to not just sign up, but to watch anytime, any place, anywhere. Overall, TSC News gives New Japan World a 7.3 out of 10. If you're asking me just personally, I think New Japan World is worth every yen, every dollar, every penny, because the content is that freaking great. But again, I understand if some people are a little apprehensive due to the interface and due to the lack of some type of TV app. So here's hoping in the future that it only gets better from here. But I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below, tweet us, Facebook us, do what you gotta do. If you enjoyed this review, please like, share, don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications for more in-depth reviews like this one right here. And until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the matches.